Soso over to JD. JD fires from 3. Upset at that shot right there. It goes to Hauser. Hauser will touch it back out to Soso. Coming up on a minute to play in this first quarter. 9-0 Kansas City over Edmonton. Here's Olivas in the middle of JD trying to flick it behind him to his teammate Hauser. The Drillers come out with it. Here's Npsl. Sends it forward to Brown. In the middle it goes, and Westcote is right there. Soso might have an own goal right there.
Yeah, exactly. Alan Soso dangerously trying to deflect the ball away inside the goal mouth that time and just popped it right up into the air, luckily for Kansas City.
The Attack 500 on the season, 12-12. Game ahead of Wichita in the Midwest Division. Now Wade to Wilson. Shepard came out. Wilson open net. Shoots. Score. Eric Wilson adds to the Attack lead with 11 seconds left in this first quarter. Eric Wilson gives the Attack an 11-0 lead.
Everybody's getting into the act for Kansas City. This time Eric Wilson does a nice job to play the boards, getting around the keeper. Then with a left foot just places it right in the back of the net. Eric Wilson, one of the younger players for Kansas City, comes away with a goal. Kansas City just running away with it right now.
Well, for Wilson, it's his 6th goal of the season. He now has 20 points on the year. And Rosson Garrow's got to be concerned right now with his Edmonton Drillers club, playing the 3rd game in 3 days. And right now the Attack just on fire right now in this first quarter.
Yeah, the end of the quarter can't get here soon enough for Rosson Garrow and the Edmonton Drillers. They're going to have to try to regroup and get something going because 11 points is difficult to overcome, but they have 3 quarters to try to do it.
And they do have the firepower. They've obviously got Nicky Vinovich, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. It's all Kansas City in the first quarter, 11-0 over Edmonton. Five different players score for Kansas City. It gives them an 11-0 lead as they have really put the wood to the Edmonton Drillers here in the first quarter. Drillers got their work cut out for them, no doubt about it. Kansas City with a very good first quarter.
Outshooting the visitors from Edmonton 15-2 in the first quarter. Been a kind of slow game so far for Warren Westcote in goal for Kansas City, but they've done a solid job of maintaining the offensive pressure on Edmonton.
And for second quarter action, here's Nate Bukaty.
Thanks a lot, Nick Vassos. 11-0 is our score. The Kansas City Attack dressed in their home white uniforms, moving from left to right as we begin the second quarter. The Edmonton Drillers trailing right now with their road black uniforms, yellow and blue trim. Edmonton has been an excellent team at home this year, but on the road it's been a different story. 3-7 is their record in hostile territory. Kansas City begins the second quarter on the attack. Wes Wade in the corner with his back to the goal, puts one on net, and it's punched away by the goalkeeper Paul Shepard. Now here's a rebound shot by Justin Cottrell that ricochets off the plexiglass, and Kansas City maintains the ball inside Edmonton territory. Here's Wes Wade through to Nate Hauser. He touches it through the goal mouth. Clovis Simas just misfires on his shot, and Edmonton tries to clear it out.
Well, Edmonton had just 3 players back there defensively. There was a lot of space for Kansas City to operate there very close to the goal.
Nate Hauser, Clovis Simas, Jeff Davis, Carlos Olivas, and Eric Wilson all with goals in the first quarter for Kansas City, and that's why the score is 11-0 right now, the attack. Here's Edmonton at the other end, and a shot inside from Sipo Sabie is redirected by Warren Westcoat, and here comes Kansas City on the counterattack. Nate Hauser through to Clovis Simas. His shot misses wide and rolls back around to the outside of the arc.
Clovis just trying to play it right there in the middle, hoping that somebody would be running in on the far post to get an easy tap in.
Now Clovis at the top of the D, tries to get it back to Wes Wade. Shot deflected away by Sipo Sabie. Nice defensive job for Sabie for Edmonton. Here's Jeff Davis on the left side. Now Kansas City will work it back out to the neutral zone. Wes Wade controls the offense for Kansas City.
Well, the score wouldn't indicate it right now, Nate, but the Edmonton Drillers are a very good defensive team. They're a very fit team, very physical, fast, and strong team. Right now, the attacker on top, 11-0.
If you want to know how fit this team is, just look at the way they outscore opponents in the fourth quarter. Both of these teams playing today, two of the top teams in the fourth quarter. Edmonton outscores its opponents 120-98 in the fourth frame. Kansas City 115-65. Both of these teams in phenomenal condition. Here's Lester Feliciano with a spin move, and a shot ricochets off the post.
Wow, good move there by Lester Feliciano. Very pretty move right at the top of the box.
He's got some excellent moves on the offensive side. Kansas City picked him up from Cleveland earlier this year.
Out of Trinidad and Tobago. He's got 6 goals on the season. 12 games he played with Cleveland.
Jeff Davis fires one up into the stands. Lester Feliciano burst onto the scene for Kansas City. A nice little stop and a pivot right at the top of the D on the ball, and he really left the defense shaking in their boots that time, but he just misfired on the shot.
Ding dong right off the post.
Well, the Edmonton Drillers trying to mount some kind of offense here in this game as they trail 11-0. Sabie's in the box, and he faces some pressure. Actually, that's Rick Titus who muscled his way in there, so Alan Soso called for the foul.
Ross Ongaro calls Rick Titus the enforcer.
Titus traded from Philadelphia in his 3rd season with Edmonton. On the restart, Vinovich played a pass to Titus, and his shot was blocked away by the defense. And here comes Edmonton once again, working their way on the right side. And his shot rolls into the arms of Warren Westcoat, the keeper. Kansas City leading right now over Edmonton, 11-0, looking for their 4th consecutive win over the Drillers this year. Now Nate Hauser taken down, and an arm to the back from Kurt Bosch, and Bosch will be called for the foul.
Well, Edmonton was one of the favorites this year in preseason. 15-10 record right now.
Nate Hauser pass into Sammy Akime, and he just missed the redirection shot. The foul's going to be called on Clovis Simas on the far board. Sammy Akime had a golden opportunity there, Nick, but he just couldn't quite find the goal mount.
Yeah, well, the good thing is that the attack had a chance right there, and that's going to make the head coach for the attack, Zoran Savic, very happy. All he wants is chances. The more chances you get, the more chances you're going to have to finish those.
Just over 3 minutes into the second quarter, Kansas City has not scored yet in the second frame, but they have outscored Edmonton so far today. 11-0 is our score. The captain, Kevin Holness, with the ball in the midfield area for Edmonton, plays it up the left side to LeBaron Holloman. He'll work it back to the top of the D, and his shot misses off the post from Chris Hanser. Kansas City on the counter. Here's Eric Wilson. Touches it around the defense and plays it back to Clovis Simas. His shot is blocked into the air by Holloman. A nice slide tackle by Kevin Holloman to save a goal right there.
Very good job by LeBaron Holloman, and also the keeper for the Drillers, Paul Shepard. Good work by both of them to keep that shot from Clovis Simas from tickling the twine.
What a move by Eric Wilson to get around to Nebojša Vidovic right there, and indirectly it sets up a restart for Kansas City. Wes Wade and Jeff Davis will both stand behind the ball. These two guys are both a threat to shoot and score.
Yeah, they do pack a pretty good 1-2 punch.
Jeff touches it to Wes Wade over to Nate Hauser. His shot is blocked out of there by Kevin Holness.
Well, he got creative on that one, Nate. He played it through the 5-hole of Jeff Davis over to Nate.
Sammy Akime rips a 3-point shot with a right foot that misses wide. Kansas City still trying to keep it in. Here's Clovis Simas along the boards. He meets a challenge from the keeper, and it's cleared out of there by Todd Rattie. Kansas City continues to maintain that offensive pressure, Nick.
Excuse me, Nate. Edmonton has spent a whole lot of time playing defense here in the first half. I mean, and not only that, they're playing defense on the whole length of the field.
Jeff Davis with a restart. Fires one right on the goal, and it's knocked away by O'Neal Brown. And out comes Edmonton the other way. Holness plays it on the near side to Nebojša Vidovic. And the Drillers will change a couple of guys up and maintain possession in the midfield. You haven't heard much from O'Neal Brown so far today, but he made a good block just a while ago.
Yeah, O'Neal Brown has a great season last year defensively, and he's on his way to having a pretty good year this year as well. O'Neal Brown right now with about 52 blocks on the season. This is his 24th game of the year. 25th, rather.
Sammy Akime down the near side for Kansas City. He'll fire one toward the goal that's blocked out of there by Angelo Sestito. Under 10 minutes to play in the second period. The Kansas City attack all over Edmonton right now, 11-0. Here's Lester Felician for Kansas City. Fires a shot off the inboards, and it bounces through the box unharmed. And Nikola Vidovic plays it up the near side to Sipo Sabille. Sipo gets a mark from Alan Soso, works his way to the middle of the field, and fires a shot that's punched away by Warren Westcote. Cody, I believe, has just one career shutout. Of course, a shutout is very, very hard to come by in the Npsl. He's working one so far, but we still have 9 minutes to play in the second quarter.
Last year down in Florida, Westcote shut out the Florida Thundercats 22-0.
Another diving save by Warren Westcote right there to get the ball into the neutral zone.
Jamie Swanner leads the Npsl all-time in shutouts with 8.
Shots on goal right now, Kansas City just dominating 18-4 over Edmonton. And we've got a foul called on the Drillers. Shane Campbell's going to be called for the violation this time.
Shane Campbell, good to be back in the lineup. I'm sure he's feeling good about playing. He had preseason knee surgery, as did the keeper tonight, Paul Shepard. He had surgery actually just back in December.
Eric Wilson working his way into Edmonton territory. A one-touch shot from Clovis Simas misses wide. Kansas City's had several more opportunities here in the second quarter, but have not been able to connect into the back of the net. Edmonton's going to clear it out. LeBaron Holloman tries to outrun Alan Soso to the ball, but Soso is able to win it and play it back to his keeper.
Edmonton just hasn't been able to get their offense going. And really, the Drillers, what they like to do is post a guy up right at the top of the D and send runners through, and they haven't been able to do that tonight.
Fancy footwork from Clovis Simas on the right side. Out to Nate Hauser. A shot deflected into the goal by Sammy Akime. Will Sammy get the goal, or will Nate Hauser? Either way, it's a two-pointer. And Kansas City leads it 13-0 in the second quarter over Edmonton. Second goal on the day, his 26th on the year, and Kansas City leads it 13-0.
Clovis Simas out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You see some of the fancy footwork here. All that futsal experience. Good pass over to Nate Hauser, and he finishes the job from there.
And the first time I saw that, I thought maybe Sammy Akime got a foot on it. Nate Hauser, in fact, put that ball right in the back of the net. That fancy footwork by Clovis is what allows some free space for some of his teammates to get open shots on goal, because he takes so many defenders to try to shut Clovis down.
And he is most effective when he is when there are players around him in close and tight quarters.
Here's Eric Wilson playing it outside to Justin Cottrell, and they'll work it all the way back to the keeper. Kansas City leading the Edmonton Drillers 13-0 with 7:30 to play in the second period. I'm Nate Bucati, joined by Nick Vassos. Nice to have you with us for Attack Soccer today on a Saturday night. Nice to have you up in Edmonton as well.
Yeah, I would like to extend a special good day to our friends in Edmonton.
It's been a slow go, a rough go so far for the Drillers. They had an excellent game last night in St. Louis, beating the Ambush and helping Kansas City out a little bit in the division with an 18-10 win over the Ambush last night. Lester Felician scores for Kansas City. Lester took that one off the inboard, off a pass from Nate Hauser, and now the 6th player for Kansas City to get into the act offensively.
Now Lester Felician, he is going to pick up his 7th goal of the season, and Lester, all he had to do was beat one person, that being the keeper. Paul Shepard and Rosson Guerrero can't be too happy about what has transpired here so far this evening at Kemper. But obviously Zoran Savic very tickled right now as his club leads 15-0 over Edmonton. This is quite a surprise. The Drillers very good club, but they're just not helping each other out defensively right now.
And I think I almost saw Zoran Savic crack his smile there.
No way.
On the bench for the Kansas City Attack. He knows better than that. 6:52 to play in the second period. The Attack in healthy command of this game. 15-0. Lester Feliciano's 7th goal on the year. Nate Hauser, his 7th assist, and it comes at the 7:58 mark of the second period. Now ball goes way up into the stands, and Kansas City will have a goal kick to come back out the other way. Well, the Attack jumped up on the Drillers early here, and it's been all Kansas City ever since.
Yeah, it really has. And for the Attack, I mean, they have to make this 4-game homestand really count, because they're going to go back out on the road for 5 straight. So this game very important to the Attack, with the playoffs just kind of in the back of their mind. It's starting to creep into the players' mind right now as teams kind of position themselves for postseason play.
Eric Wilson charging on net, gets the ball around Shepard, but it just misses wide. Paul Shepard, the keeper, got a piece of that ball and just saved another goal for Kansas City.
And of course, Edmonton, after tonight's game, they'll go home to play Harrisburg, and then they'll be back out on the road again. The Drillers finished with 14 of their last 21 on the road, Nate.
And that's really tough, and it's fortunate for them, or at least they did a good job of winning their games at home and taking care of business at home. 12-3 home record this year. That's why right now they are 5 games above 500 at 15-10, but still find themselves 4 games back in the standings to Milwaukee.
I tell you, the Wave is tough this year.
Ball in the corner, Sipo Sabie trying to find an angle, and it's cleared out by Kansas City. Jeff Davis was able to get the ball out of the defensive side for the Attack. 4 players in the box for Kansas City defensively, and also you add in there Warren Westcoat. The Attack doing a great job staying behind the ball. Eric Wilson now dumps it inside for Kansas City. West Wade has it on the right side. This is defense from O'Neal Brown, and rolled it into the box, and it was cleared out of there by Todd Rattie. Warren Westcoat will play it right back into the near corner. Clovis Seamoff with his back to the goal. Working against Rattie, out to Alan Soso. Down goes Soso, and the Edmonton Drillers take it back. Sipo Sabie at the halfway line plays it back to Chris Hanser. We didn't see Chris on Thursday night, playing with a bad ankle, a bad groin right now. Hanser at the halfway line for the Drillers as they trail by 15 halfway through the second period. Actually 10 minutes into the second period now. Ball comes back into Kansas City territory, and off his line, Warren Westcoat. The ball bounces into the box, but Alan Soso clears it out. Now here's Kevin Holdis. He'll roll a pass into the box. It's deflected away by Eric Wilson, and Kansas City clears it out with foot of Alan Soso. Well, Edmonton has really not been able to maintain any kind of offensive pressure. Simply 5 shots on goal so far in the first half. That is well below their average on the season. They usually put about 35 shots on goal in one game. Their legs might be a little weary right now. You certainly won't have any of the Drillers player tell you that. Take a look at Justin Cottrell right there. Well, Kansas City leading at 15-0 with 4:22 to play in the first half. Kansas City on top, 15-0 here in the first half, and the Attack right now with a 1-game lead and a chance to make up some more ground in the Midwest, Nick. Yeah, the Attack with a win here will increase their lead in the Midwest to 1.5 games. But the Wings tomorrow have to play in the toughest place in the league to play, and that's up in Milwaukee's Bradley Center, where the Wave are 90-10 over the last 100 games up there. Just an unbelievable record at home. The Wave dominate. And last night, Milwaukee with 16,000 strong in terms of fan support. One of the biggest crowds we've ever seen in the Npsl. They have a lot of support, and they play extremely well in a nice facility. It's tough to win up there. Kansas City knows that. They were just there a couple of weeks ago and had it handed to them pretty strongly.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, Edmonton in the same division as Milwaukee. The Drillers right now 15-10, yet they're 4 games behind the Wave, who stand at 20-7, the best record in all of the NPSL.
Heck, Milwaukee even has a winning record on the road at 8-6. Right now, the Attack in control of this one in the first half, 15-0. But in the NPSL, things can change quickly. So the Attack maintain the offensive pressure. Clovis Simas bounces one into the box, and Paul Shepard will flick it back downfield. Somehow that ball stayed in bounds.
I don't know how that one.
Carlos Olivas will play it upfield.
Right on the top of the dashboard. Going to get some funny hops in this game.
You know, you can lose a lot of cheap balls out of bounds here and get a bad restart if you lose the ball into the box, because the dasher boards don't have that plexiglass in front of the 2 benches. Edmonton on the attack, and this time stepping over it is Rick Titus. He just misfired on that shot.
Now the Drillers just seem a little out of sync right now. They really haven't been able to put any sizable threats against Kansas City so far, as Sammy whistled for the foul there.
And that's something that you'll say quite often when you watch a Kansas City Attack game. Sammy Akime, one of the more physical players, has been whistled for 87 fouls coming into this game. That's far and away more than anybody else on this Attack team.
Sammy is going to break the record that he set last year for fouls at 112.
Sammy Akime is also the team captain, though. He comes to play every day, plays through injuries. He's been battling a sore knee all year long with some torn cartilage in that knee, but he's elected to play through the pain as opposed to undergoing surgery. He hopes to wait till the offseason to do that. Alan Soso on the near dasher boards. He'll reverse things and play it back outside to Wes Wade. Wes Wade, of course, was the captain for the Attack. Had a small run-in with the head coach, Zoran Savic. Still made it to the All-Star game, though, and was the MVP of the All-Star game this year. Just no longer the captain of the Kansas City Attack. Sammy Akime holds that badge down. Eric Wilson inside the arc. He fires a shot, and he scores. Kansas City goal. 17-0. Eric Wilson, his 2nd goal on the game, his 7th on the year.
Well, Eric Wilson operating on the left side. All he did was take a look at the net, and he played it to the lower right corner. You can see him size up the keeper right here, takes a look, and then just hammers it to the lower right corner as Kansas City continues to just pour it on Edmonton.
For most of the year, Eric Wilson has been the kind of guy who usually looks to pass first and shoot second. It looked like the defender, Angelo Sestito, there maybe was expecting him to pass the ball there instead of fire the shot. Eric Wilson showing right there that he has the ability to score when he has the chance. Now Warren Westcote plays the ball over the plexiglass and into the stands. Kansas City Attack fans have had a lot to cheer about so far today. 1:52 to play in the first half, and the Attack lead at 17-0.
A lot of young faces on that Attack bench right there. Eric Wilson among them, just his 2nd year in the NPSL out of El Paso, Texas. Went to school at Drake University, where he played soccer collegiately there. And this is kind of a different team for the Kansas City Attack than in years past. A lot of the veterans are gone, so we're seeing a lot of young faces on this team, which has caused some inconsistent efforts over the course of a season.
Edmonton with a restart goal and a shot. Vinovich misses off the dasher boards, and a rebound just hits the crossbar by LeBaron Holloman. That's the way things have been going for Edmonton so far today.
Yep.
Well, the assist on that last goal goes to Alan Soso, his 2nd on the day and his 5th on the year. Alan Soso's played some excellent soccer for Kansas City in his 1st year in the NPSL. He's 2nd on the team in blocks, but he's also started to get into the act offensively for the Attack over the last couple of weeks.
He's got a pretty strong foot. He's got a couple of 3-pointers. He is a threat from long range, but mostly he's a stay-at-home defender for the Attack.
Nicky Vinovich on the far side for the Drillers. Cuts through the ball, working against Clovis Simas. A redirection, misses by his older brother, Nebojsa Vinovich. Another good chance for the Drillers, but they haven't been able to come through. Nate Hauser at the other end touches the ball and stepped on top of it that time and almost tripped himself up. Here's Clovis at the top of the D. Clovis Simas touching the ball, shoots, scores. Kansas City goal. 2nd goal of the day for Clovis Simas, his 55th on the year.
Paul Shepard just cannot believe what is going on right now with the Edmonton Drillers. Clovis Simas, that good footwork there, stop and go, and from the left side, wow, made a couple of people fall down, and Shepard had absolutely no chance on that one.
Boy, Todd Rattie was just exposed right there by Clovis Seamoss, and Clovis' second goal tonight. He leads the NPSL in 2-point goals, and Paul Shepard, the goalkeeper for the Edmonton Drillers, came into this game with the second best points against average on the year. That might change when all is said and done here. 19-0 is our score with under a minute to play in the first half. Wes Wade gets the assist also, Nick. That's his second on the game, and Mr. Wes Wade is one of the best assist men in the NPSL right now. He has got 39 on the year. That's number 2 in the NPSL.
Well, it's all Kansas City right now, 19-0, and we'll see if we can hook up with Ross Ongaro. He's scheduled to join us just